what's going on, family? Look, man, I hope y'all are well, man. Hope it will be a great today. Look, y'all already know what it is, man. It's part 11. Woo, we have part 11 of a series I'm calling, and you better do it with me or else it's going to be me and you. I'ma knock you out. Where that faith go? Where that faith go? Where that faith go? Where that faith go? Where that?
I ain't gotta flex, I ain't gotta talk, shorty, I'ma say less, way too black.
Hey, I ain't gotta, let me stop. You already know what it is, man. It's part 11 of Where That Faith Go. And boy, I'm coming with a good word today. Like, this word is gonna bless your sha-na-na. It's gonna bless your soul. It's gonna make you start screaming, shouting, and yelling. It's gonna taste like some good old sweet tea if you drink it all, right? Like, you gotta look at this whole message so you can get your soul refreshed. Like, how? Just let your soul glow, baby. Let it glow. Let it glow. Ow! Oh, let me stop. Y'all know I'm the best. But look, for real though, I got a good word for y'all today, man. And I'm gonna go ahead and jump straight into it, right? 2 weeks ago, I talked about working out faith, right? Last week, I talked about speaking faith. And today, I'm talking about something that should start happening, and it's going to deal with the results you would want to see, right? So hear me when I say, right? So when you start working out, you make that decision to go ahead and start working out. You know what I mean? Like, you start, going to the gym consistently. You start trying to eat right. And I'm going to be honest, this is one that I'm actually struggling with, eating right. Because you see, I ain't never going to lie to y'all, man. That Bojangles chicken and Chick-fil-A, glory. Oh! Woo, I'm about to shout. Y'all don't understand. I love chicken. Ow! If somebody buy me some chicken, hey, I will love you forever. Like, it will be me and you forever against the world, baby. Against the world. Because I just love me some chicken. I could talk about chicken all day like I talk about Jesus. It's Jesus and chicken. Chicken, Jesus. Chicken ain't above Jesus. But anyway, let me stop playing. Don't play with me. Play with your mama. Get spiritual, Josh. Get spiritual. Okay, so like I said, you start working out, you going to the gym consistently, you eating right and trying to eat right, and you're conditioning your body, right? So, so you get in the gym, you work out, and then you start speaking. You know what I mean? Like, you in the gym, you're like, okay, I'm going to be stronger. Even though I don't see results right now, I'm going to start getting stronger. Then something's going to start happening, right? You're going to start actually, and sometimes you may realize it, sometimes you may not. Now, I don't know how often you guys look in the mirror at yourself, but I try to look at myself in the mirror daily and be like, okay, that's a good looking brother right there. It is you. Look at you. Looking like yourself. Go ahead and smile for me.
Yeah. Do it. You scrolled on this video to do it. Oh, like that.
Yeah. Like that. But yeah, like I said, you look in the mirror and they like say, you flexing in the mirror like, ooh, look at me, I'm strong, baby. How? I got these muscles. I ain't taking my shirt off, ladies. Don't do it. I ain't taking my shirt off. You little heathens, y'all thought I was gonna take my shirt off, didn't you? Maybe I will. No, I ain't taking my shirt off, you nasty, crazy people.
Ha! Got him!
Gosh, get spiritual. Okay, I got you. Here we go. So look, like I said, you in the mirror, you know what I'm saying? You looking at yourself, even if you're at the gym looking at yourself as well, you looking at yourself in the mirror like, ooh, and you looking at your booty, you like, okay, I got some muscles in my butt. Or fellas, you know what I'm saying? You looking at your muscles, you like, okay, I'm getting bigger, I'm getting stronger, right? Because, you've been working out, you've been speaking it, you know what I'm saying? And you being consistent, right? Josh, what are you trying to say with all this, right? Maturity. My topic for today, my message title today, maturing faith. Maturing faith. You see, the thing is, when you're maturing, right, sometimes you don't realize you're maturing sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you don't see the results immediately, but you've been working out, you've been reading your Bible, you've been praying, you've been going to church consistently, you've been doing these things that you're supposed to do, so that you can get better, so that you can start growing, right? And sometimes you don't see it. Right? But sometimes those results will not come out immediately, but they are going to come out. You just got to stay consistent with it, right? That's maturity, right? You're growing spiritually. You're growing, physically, mentally, even when you don't see it sometimes. But it's just with little things sometimes, And so I'm going to give a little example, right? So, now for anybody that has me, y'all got me on Facebook and all this, y'all have probably, some of y'all have been following me on Facebook for a while, since I was a child, right? And I was like, when I first got on Facebook, I think I was like 12 years old or something like that. And if I can be real with y'all, man, when I was on Facebook before, I was so childish. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would say stuff like out the blue, you know, and then some of it would be based on relationships and stuff. And, you know, I would just tell, I was the person, I ain't gonna lie, I was the type of person to tell all my business on Facebook. You know, like if I was beefing with somebody at school, I would say it on Facebook because that was like my way of venting. But I've realized, because I'm maturing in my thinking, that I cannot do that because that is not helping the issue, right? Like, what is Facebook going to do to give me joy? What is Facebook going to do to give me peace? By me telling my problems to people on Facebook or telling Facebook just for them to comment below and say whatever, you know, but it's not fixing the issue. Instead of me confronting the issue head on, I would post about it on Facebook, right? And, you know, I would see some of this, and there's something called Facebook memories. I would see a lot of the stuff I used to say, and I'd be like, I really said that? You know what I'm saying? So, like, look, that's me knowing that I'm maturing, that I'm not at that level anymore, right? Some of y'all need to grow up. That just hurts some feelings right there, but some of y'all need to grow up. Some of y'all are childish in your thinking. Some of y'all post on Facebook and Instagram to get attention, but who are you trying to really please with all those pictures? With you dolled up with that makeup, or you posting it, or you talking about your BF that he ain't nothing, or this and that. Just like I said before, life and death is the power of the tongue. So if you keep saying he ain't nothing, he ain't never gonna be nothing because you speaking that over his life. You sentencing him to death. So you need to be speaking life over whoever is in your circle instead of trying to talk about them like a dog, you know. But it's just maturing, right? You get, and you know, Paul talked about this in Corinthians. He says, you know, when I was a child, I acted like a child. But when I grew up, I gave up childish ways. Some of y'all need to give up some of these childish ways that y'all still holding on to. Some of y'all need to get out of that mindset that you acting like a child, thinking that you going and gossiping about people, or you going and doing this, right? And then some of y'all wonder why you're not growing or you're not maturing, because you're still a child. You need to grow up.
Grow up. Yeah, you grow up.
Some of y'all just need to grow up. And you know, it's like a message I saw a while ago by Pastor Michael Todd, where he was talking about a Toys R Us ministry, right? And what's the Toys R Us jingle? I don't want to grow up.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Some of y'all don't want to grow up. Some of y'all don't want to get stronger. You say with your mouth you want to get stronger, but you're not working out. So you really don't want to mature. You really don't want to grow up. You really don't. Because if you did, your actions would speak louder than your words, right? Because, you know, you can say all you want. Look, talk is cheap unless you actually walk it, unless you actually do it.
What? Bro, what are you talking about,
That's
man?
why I'm challenging some of y'all to grow up. Get out of that childish mindset that you may be in right now. Stop acting like a child. Some of y'all are grown men. Some of y'all are grown women still acting like children. And trust me, I'm not just talking to y'all, like I'm talking to myself too. Because I mean, I believe we're all a little childish in a way. You know, like I said, there's nothing wrong with having fun. There's nothing wrong with, you know, all that. But some of y'all are just too childish. Some of y'all don't know when it's playtime and when it's go time. See, that's the problem with some of y'all. Y'all always think it's playtime and y'all always want to play, but you never want to go. And by you always playing, you will miss what God has for you because you're too busy playing when you should be going. Some of y'all need to quit playing. Y'all need to quit playing, and you know, you say you want to be mature in your faith. You say you want to get stronger and better, but you need to quit playing and start going. That's the problem with some of y'all right now. So y'all need to be praying more than you talking about people. Y'all need to be praying more than you gossiping. That's what some of y'all problems is. That's why you can't grow up, you know? And you know, when I think about, you know, maturing and growing up as well, man, you know, as you start maturing, you'll start realizing it in your mind. You'll start realizing it in your heart, like, okay, God is working on me. You know, like I'm able to look back on how I was a couple years ago and how I am now. You know what I'm saying? Like how I'm maturing in my faith. And some of y'all probably see it too, but it's crazy because, you know, just like I said with the gym, right? Sometimes you don't see the results immediately. If I can be real with y'all, like, you know, when I would work out at the gym, you know, sometimes I would look at myself in the mirror and be like, okay, I think I'm growing a little bit, you know, but then, you know, my coworkers, they'd be like, oh, look at you growing. You got these muscles. I just be looking like, man, y'all better chill out. I ain't growing. Then I'd be like, wait, am I really growing? Like, really? I only worked out like 2 times and I'm already growing? What? You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes people can see stuff in you that you don't even see in yourself. Woo! Sometimes people can see stuff and they can speak that over you. And what would that do? That'll make you want to go to the gym more. That'll make you want to go and be great. That'll make you want to go, you know, and it's amazing that some people in your life can really see stuff in you that you don't even see in yourself, right? And that's what it was. Like when I first started working back out, like I didn't see the results immediately, but other people did. Isn't that amazing that other people saw the results before I even saw it? You know, and sometimes that's how it be. you know? But, you know, I just saw that to say, man, you got to stay consistent. That's the main thing, man. If you want to start maturing in your faith, you got to be consistent with it. You got to consistently read the word. You got to consistently pray. You got to consistently worship God. You got to consistently do things that will lead you closer to him and not to yourself, you know? And, you know, there's also another word I think about. It says, you know, to be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Right? That, you know, we're supposed to be in this world, but we're not supposed to be like this world. We're supposed to be transformed by the renewal of our mind. That's why some of y'all cannot change. That's why some of y'all are not maturing, because you're not changed by the renewal of your mind. You're trying to be like this world. You're trying to be like social media. You're trying to be like society. And you see, when I realized that I was not like this world, that I was not like people on this world, but that God made me who he wanted me to be, that's when I said, you know what? I'm done trying to please the culture. I'm done trying to please people that are not even worshiping God. You know, that's the problem with some of y'all. Y'all chase celebrities that don't even worship God. Y'all chase people that don't even worship God. Y'all idolize people, you know, and you know, I said this a while ago that we live in a society that idolizes celebrities, money, and all this stuff. That we idolize sex, money, drugs, all that stuff, but we don't even want to worship God. And it's just like what they did back in the Old Testament. Like, they put things before God. Like, maybe it wasn't the things we put before God now, but it's the same concept, right? That's why I encourage y'all, read the Bible for yourself and you'll see I'm not lying. But it's just some of us, we're putting things before God. That's why we cannot grow. That's why we're not maturing. But that's why as a Christian, we have got to start maturing. Even when you don't see the results, you got to keep going. Even when you don't see the results, you got to keep praying. Even when you don't see the results, you got to keep going to church. You need to keep being a faithful servant at that church. You need to keep doing what God is calling you to do. You want to see maturity? Keep going. You know what true maturity is? You know, true maturity is when you keep going to work, even when you keep serving in that church, when you keep doing something, even when you don't see the results immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when I think about, you know, Transformation Church, right? You know, I've heard stories about, you know, Michael Todd has preached about, you know, how his church, you know, how, you know, when he started, he was just a cameraman, right? He was just a cameraman, but then he kept working, and then his pastor entrusted him to be the pastor of the church. You know, now mind you, he doesn't have a degree, he doesn't have any kind of school knowledge or anything, but God is using him. Why? Because God wanted to mature him to that level. You know, and I also think about King David. Right? So King David, you know, just to make a long story short, King David, you know, he started as a shepherd and, you know, tending to the flock. And then, you know, as God was maturing him, right, you know, because he was anointed as king already, but he didn't get to the kingdom immediately, right? God had to do what? He had to mature him, get him ready. Imagine if King David had been the king as soon as he got anointed as king. You know, he wouldn't have been ready. He probably wouldn't have been able to steward over the kingdom good. He probably wouldn't have been a good king at all because he was I ain't gonna say he was too young, but he wasn't ready. He was still a child in his thinking. So God had to wake him up and grow him up. That's the problem with some of y'all. Y'all need to grow up. Some of y'all are so childish in your thinking. Y'all are so, you know, you don't want to do what God is calling you to do. You just want to do your own thing. You don't want to grow up. There's some grown men on here that, like, you put video games over God, or you put video games over your family. And, you know, maybe I may be speaking to myself, you know, because like I said, I like video games too, but I don't let it keep me from what God is calling me to do. Like, I could probably be playing video games right now, but instead, I'm preaching to y'all because I want to give y'all the word, because I'm trying to do what God is calling me to do. Some of y'all just need to grow up. And that's really the base of my message today, man. That we need to keep working, we need to keep grinding, and we need to keep letting God use us the way he wants to use us. That's why and like I said, man, that's why some of y'all can't grow up, man. If y'all get out of that way of thinking, get out of that small-minded way of thinking, and actually let God mold you and shape you into who he wants you to be, you know, make an effort to work out, make an effort to start speaking in existence. Like, you know, even though I'm not where I want to be right now, but God is still molding me. He's shaping me. And I'm a perfect witness to that, man. I am not a perfect man, but I am progressing.
Progress, not perfection.
And we're never going to be perfect, but we are progressing. And as long as we're progressing, I guarantee you we're mature. So even when you don't see the results of your maturing faith, even when you don't see the results, I want you to keep going. I want you to keep letting God mold you and shape you into the person he wants you to be. You know, because you won't get to where you are immediately, but you will get there. You just need to keep going. It's time for us to stop playing as Christians, man. You know, especially with what's going on right now, it is time for us Christians to stand up. It's time for us to be who God is calling us to be. It's time for us to be the people he has called us to be. And it's time for us to start maturing in our thinking, start being mature, but we got to start working out. We got to start speaking it. And I guarantee you, you will definitely see yourself start maturing. All right, guys, look, that's all I got to say, man. I love y'all, man. Y'all be blessed, man. And let's start maturing in our faith today, man.